I wanted to ask you is regarding the data that you provided regarding the need and the rituals of the lynching and the need to consume the flesh and the sexual conquering of the black male. I'm interested in letting you stretch out on that, if you will.
Yes. I recommend to all of our listeners the book by Professor Orlando Patterson from Harvard University is Rituals of Blood, Consequences of Slavery in Two American Centuries. He has a very extended essay in here on the Feast of Blood, race, religion, and human sacrifice in postbellum South. He documents the sacrosanct nature of these brutal murders, the whole choreography of the event, which not always, but very often was literally an event, a performance. This is why in the images that we have, you have a mob of very enthralled whites involved. Well, these whites weren't just spectators. They were part of the performance, the sacred performance. Did you know, brother, audience, Nat Turner's murder? You know, the step-by-step process of how they executed Brother Nat Turner and what they did to his body after emerges out of this phenomenon of sacrosanct performances, ritual performances. They boiled Nat Turner's flesh down, liquefied it, and made an ointment out of it. They made a purse with his skin. Now, Nat Turner's a money purse with his skin. This wasn't peculiar to the treatment of Nat Turner. This treatment was common. This cannibalism was common. It was brought to America with the early colonies because for 200 years in Europe, the best and brightest of Europe participated in medicinal cannibalism, or what they call corpse medicine. From the crown to the church, they participated in medicinal cannibalism, literally making medications out of the blood, the fat, the flesh, skin of the corpses of the dead. And the most important, or the favorite corpse, was the corpse of a young man who died a violent death. Why was this? Preferably by hanging. Why was this the favorite corpse? Because Christian theology then, and it was Christians who were over this very systematic corpse medicine or medicinal cannibalism. Christians believed then and now that, even though they won't be so admitting to it today, but they believe that every life has a foreordained lifespan. And if some body is cut down prematurely before his term, the remainder of his lifespan is literally in the blood of the dead body and can be harvested out as a vital source. And so the young male in particular, who was healthy but suffered a violent death, preferably by hanging, it was believed that his corpse was full of these, what they call parathelian vital forces that can be harvested out. And so when his flesh and his blood is consumed, they are consuming the vital forces, and they feed off of the vital forces. This is soul harvesting. And the slave trade and the institution of slavery in America, it's esoteric. It wasn't just a trade in African bodies. It was a trade in African souls to be harvested. And the ritual, the lynching, remember, again, the preferred corpse was the corpse of a young male who had died a violent death, preferably through hanging. That corpse was most full of vital forces that could be harvested and injected through consumption. And that's why lynching was the preferred method of killing black men during Jim Crow. They were hard in those cases, case after case, you have the story of them consuming parts of the body of the victim. They were harvesting the vital forces of the black man. This war, this assault, again, I can't stress enough that this is the war of the gods. This isn't an ethnic conflict when